Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to American Truck Simulator, as I'm just trying to move around Louisiana a little bit here. The one weird thing that is happening, even though the maps seem to work, is it keeps asking me to reestablish my headquarters. So it's like it's not saving that. Every time I come in, it tells me unable to locate your headquarters, confirm a selection. I had been using Abilene, which I think is where I had been at. Now I went ahead and picked Dallas because maybe Abilene isn't an official city. I don't know. Maybe it's just got some kind of a problem with that now because maybe it was on some other thing. But either way, I'm hoping that's not just kind of an indication of some brewing problem underneath. So I'm taking something a little bit longer. I did have shorter jobs. I could take 72 miles to Lafayette, the one up on top. While I'm in Louisiana, I'm like, well, maybe we'll give it a shot for the achievement they have, or the, exploring Louisiana, whatever they, cruising, whatever they call it, those achievements that they have, and that way we can get credit for cities and so forth. And hey, maybe get things unlocked. I haven't done that in a little bit, but not sure that we'll be around here. But one of the requirements they usually have is it needs to be at least 100 miles. And so I could have gone up to Shreveport as well, which is up in the corner here. But then my concern is, well, I don't really have anything back for a bit, so we'll kind of let it do its thing. Jasper, DeRider, I assume those are in Texas. Yeah, we're kind of heading over here though to Homa. We're getting closer to New Orleans, so I'm thinking maybe the scenery will be pretty cool too. Right, but it is 11:35 a.m. Brown. I don't know why people paint vehicles brown. I just think it looks like what it looks like when you paint it brown. Vehicles should not be dark brown. I mean, well, there shouldn't be any kind of brown. I mean, tan's even bad enough. It's like, why would you buy something, spend a lot of money on something that's that color? I just don't understand. So, do we have... Alright, I can get rid of this. But do we have a... Oops. There we go. A trip meter. So 183 miles. I think we go this way and to the left. So leaving the sawmill here, Warehouser. So if you're unfamiliar, this is the largest logging company, or timber company, whatever you want to call it, in the country by far. I think I've talked about this before. They're the only private company that appears on government land maps because of the amount of land, specifically forest, that they own. And so, the government keeps track of that. And they also swap land with national forests at times. They'll be like, well, we'll take this piece and we'll give you this piece that we've been tending for the last 80 years. And so they sometimes do that as well. So really interesting how that's set up. Right, I'm thinking maybe it's not. Okay, I guess we didn't have them on. Because, yeah, most of the wipers are intermittent and almost rain sensing.
Get ready to turn left.
So, 49, which is that short interstate that we had gotten onto.
Turn left.
Right, we're going to turn left. But yeah, there's definitely, and again, I've not been to Louisiana, but I've seen it on, at least depicted on shows. Were they really filming in Louisiana? I don't know. I would assume they would have been. It's not like it's that challenging to do so here. But, you know, it's kind of more swampy and, you know, the bayous and all that. But, so I assume we're going to go to the left where it's south.
Keep left.
Yep.
And then turn left. Turn left.
But we'll see what things start to look like. So yeah, you may see that jump when I turn the head tracking off, as long as I remember. Because yeah, I've got like a little trick in my setup that I'm doing where I've got my mute button a little closer to me, but still like looking over and whatever would be a challenge. It is early in the morning. We're actually going to be gone a couple days for Christmas here, and so just trying to get my truck simulator videos in and ready today, because after today we'll be gone for a little bit, just spending some time overnight at someone's home and between Christmas Eve and Christmas, and so won't be back for a little bit. So nothing substantial like for Thanksgiving, but you know, still unable to be present and record. And again, on those days I might have still not been doing a whole lot of recording anyway. Depends what was happening. I mean, realistically, I probably might have been, because it'd just be my wife and I kind of hanging out, and so here and there I'm sure I'd pop over and do something to pass a little bit of time. Alright, good amount of traffic coming in. Just afternoon. I assume we should be able to get there before 5 p.m. Alright, well, it's telling me I can go 70. It's struggling to get above 55, which is kind of interesting. Alright, with all that traffic coming in, I'm going to move over. This is a very boxy blue pickup. I mean, it is an old pickup. They all did tend to look a little weird, but the wheels seem a little more inset than they should be. Gotta be careful, because I do have the GDC physics mod here, and it is raining. So while they fixed rain, like if something suddenly happens, I'm not going to go up to 75, even though I, in theory, can. At some point you got to realize you're driving a many multi-ton vehicle, and just not a good thing. So, kind of an inopportune time to suddenly have to, let me reset that. Must have been looking sideways. Veal plot or something, huh? I think that's what it says. Yeah, because it's like North Platte River. So yeah, as I do things in the morning, get a little bit of extra in there. So for some of you who just want the driving, or you're like, yay, he's muting all the time. But for others, yes, it's just even more disjointed than normal. Alright, so we'll be here at Lafayette, and again, I think that was another one. Or no, that was not. But I recall the name. Probably just because I've heard it. Lake Charles and Baton Rouge. Oh yes, Baton Rouge. So I'm glad we can move along here, though. Oh, Highway 10. That goes all the way across the southern U.S. It's I know it well from Florida. Alright, and Houma looks like we're just continuing on.
Left.
Cool. Now, I don't think we're gonna get... Whoops. Alright, well, I fell back there. I don't think we're gonna get... credit in the... Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. It's better. It's not slickety-slick like it used to be. So, that's good. And yeah, we're off the interstate now, with still 106 miles to go. But we're probably going to get a really good view of Louisiana here. I hear a train. Could be next to me, could be anywhere. I don't know where it is. I'm assuming if it was in front, we'd have a problem. I need to have my head ready before I turn things on. Because then I'm like having to turn sideways, and that's no fun. Alright, so the fleur-de-lis was on the side of that brick, which, you know, Louisiana's got some French origins. It was part of, can you guess it? Can you guess it? The Louisiana Purchase? Ding, 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 ding. Oh, and there you go, on the EMS unit as well. So, pretty nice. So it's always interesting, because sometimes real companies, real gas stations, whatever, don't work with new things, but I think they've gotten better at doing it. Although, so you've got like Frozen Food Express, which I'm sure is just a generic company of some sort. Now, what isn't updated, I probably should look. I do have a mod that is like municipal police. And I haven't looked for an update for that in a long time. Years probably wouldn't be exaggerating. And so there's certainly been additional states added. And they basically had, like, there was more police, I think. I don't know that they did the fire departments. But it was more police vehicles and stuff that were updated for local communities, and there's probably been 3 or 4 states that have been added, but I just don't know if that's a modder that has been actively doing things. But that was how we'd see, like, local, you know, Las Vegas police and even some smaller towns. Now, again, they're not going to have nearly as many as, like, more cities does. But, you know, obviously we've got an Amazon truck in front of us, so we know that the truck is still working, but... Alright, so we're definitely crawling through town. It looks like we'll be, after this light, we're getting out on some rural roads again, and, that'll help. Why are we letting these people in, or whatever you're doing? Okay, I was convinced he was going to merge, but he didn't. Oh, you can actually feel going over that grate. Alright, 75 miles to Homa. So I assume that means we're going to go through Homa. But yeah, definitely a bit busy here as far as traffic. Alright, Center Street makes it sound like it'd be the center of town, but it is letting us go 65. And I would think because of the bayous and things like that, that Louisiana would be a bit sparsely populated in some ways, but I'm not entirely sure. All right, so the bus is going. That's good. That gives me a little bit of room here, but we'll see. See you later, Mr. Amazon. Ashley Furniture. So, you know, but those are some of the traffic packs. I don't know that the real companies is required to... No, but it would have to. I don't know. Not necessarily. because he could just have random trucks spawn or whatever. I haven't updated Jazzy Cat in a while, but usually they add, you know, a dozen or so vehicles every month, and they do tend to be active. But all right, so now we're down to 40 something. Flares, that's a real company. Knew it well when I had younger girls, and you know, they're getting the earrings and whatever from there. Da, 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 da. Alright, so the van is leaving. I'm like, I thought he's leaving. Again, I think that's sugarcane. I really don't know that it would be planted. Well, I guess it's not really like in the exit ramp, so maybe it could be. I said, never having been down there. I also just figured, you know, because you hear about sugar plantations, but I just figured they'd be bigger. Alright. Looks like a little milk truck or something. So I think we were going like 20 or 30 miles past Homa to this delivery point, so I would think we'll be coming up on the city shortly. Alright, so yep, you can see the water underneath and the trees just growing in the water. Very Louisiana. So that's the kind of stuff I'd be familiar with. So that's cool. So we might get a little bit of another day here. Because yeah, I'm thinking at this pace we should be at the delivery point by 3:30. It's just how long does it take us to park? $202. So at this point, to maintain the 100 miles, my next run would probably need to be out of here, back out of the little, I don't know that I'd call it a panhandle, the way it does things, because Florida really has a clear panhandle. Texas has a panhandle, they say. But I couldn't tell you. It's got to be the top, I suppose. But does Louisiana have a panhandle? I don't know. Because we're getting closer. Just remembered. Please consider liking and subscribing. That way you can easily find what's being put out. And it helps the channel and the algorithm as well. Alright, so...
Right. And then exit right.
Alright, so we're exiting here to go toward Homa. 16 miles,
Exit
it's
right.
telling me. Raceland. Alright. Just trying to drive a little bit better. So one of the other things they talked about is there's a vote for adding field of view mirrors, I think. So I think like based on the field of view setting you have, so that you don't need a different mod. And again, now that I'm using the head tracking, I'm just using the mirrors attached, so I don't know what that will potentially do, but it's another one of the votes that, because I voted no, because I'm like, I don't really need that. I'm using the in-game mirrors, and they seem fine to me. But, alright, well, they are standing, so I will take that opportunity, although it looks like I need to be to the left, so, and the right lane ends. So I definitely do need to be to the left. But yes is winning, so that may come along. I think it was part of the physics mod. So I get the concept. It's like, okay, then you don't have additional things and more mods, and we've discussed the mods issue. Call David if you're injured.
Go straight.
He can help
and then
you out.
turn right.
Right, so go straight. It'll be through here.
Turn right.
Again, it is so odd to have roundabouts in the U.S.
Get ready to turn left.
It's just one of those, like, really, in Louisiana?
Turn left.
But maybe. I mean, again, they do have French background, and France certainly has plenty of roundabouts in places like Paris from long, long ago, so maybe. Alright, well, our first real Louisiana drop-off point. Swift trucks. Again, it'd obviously be something else normally, but... Alright, so we're in those docks over there. You gonna open for me? I was like looking at the light. I'm like, the light is not spinning. So, we do continue, as we have in both these series, either having nighttime or rain. We did get here about 3:30, so... Alright, where are we? Are we just at the side of the building, I guess? We must be. Yep. Wait. Are we way at the side of the building? I don't understand. We are. Okay. Odd. Little odd, that's for sure. So again, unfortunately, when they tuck it this far over, we're stuck in blindside land again. Which I don't like, but it is what it is. Alright. So for my own sanity, I'm gonna park this way, which I don't do a lot, but I think driving you guys crazy parking the other way isn't really that helpful. I get it's more immersive, because obviously this isn't what a trucker's view is normally. You let me know, like, if you don't like this, and you're like, nah, just fight with it each time. But this one I felt was going to be pretty challenging, but it's a little easier to position when you can see a little clearer. I might have still gone too far over, but... So, yeah, right next to, whoop, whoop, whoop. Let me just straighten out a little bit. Alright. So now we'll get ourselves back. And now I should be able to... Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. My goodness. Like, I just need to kind of meander a little slower back here. But yeah, it's like... Sure, we got all these open docks, but we're gonna have you just put it over here next to the... I assume that's... Anything with that is a bayou, I don't know. Maybe it isn't. Alright, forgot to get myself out of park, but that's alright. Or out of backing up. So now we should be over 14,000, I think. Yep. Alright, so we're getting really, really close. Yeah, it's going to be, we're going into the break now where I'm switching to Euro Truck. Yeah, see, we didn't get Cruising Louisiana credit. I don't understand. Oh, because I'm not using the external contracts. Alright, well, I can't be doing that, so... Never mind. It's no biggie. I mean, there's no... Usually the only thing I want out of this is a paint job, and that's not going to matter for this series, and I don't recall what they had, but it wasn't anything that jumped out at me. I've got some paint jobs from out west, like with Rams and maybe Bears. I don't even remember what I unlocked. So it kind of shows how unimportant those things are. But yeah, all we can do is quick jobs if we don't own a truck, so we can't really do World of Trucks with the series here, and maybe never. Who knows? we've got this done, but what I was going to say is, we've got the ETS break for 4 days. So certainly comment if you're like, no, don't, try to stay in cab to back up. If you want to pop out for a moment, like you're walking around and looking, that's one thing. Do what you can from the cab. But I just kind of wanted to get that done. There's a little bit of, hey, I've got to get 2 more ETS loads done today as well to pay, at a minimum, to have things taken care of. And as always, there's other sim things I'd like to do and so forth. I think there was a weird problem with the fuel thing and how that truck was looking when it was doing that, but it was distracting me. But anyway, I'm going to get going and I will see you next time.